All right, I get this question asked all of the time, so it's finally time for me to sit down and talk to you guys about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different for Vlogmas. I am doing a Q&A because it has been a while since I last did one. The last time I did one was when I first found out that I was pregnant with Oakley. I kind of did like a sneaky thing and told Andrew that we were going to do a Q&A, but really it was a surprise pregnancy announcement to him. So if you guys haven't seen that or you want to see Andrew cry, it's so sweet. Go watch that video. So sweet. But it's been a while since I've done a Q&A, so I thought it was time to do that. And I asked you guys on Instagram for questions, and you guys delivered. And then some. You guys asked some great questions, so I'm really excited to answer those today. So the first question is, what are you and Andrew's other businesses that you keep referring to? So we have two businesses. One is YouTube, and that is our main source of income right now. Andrew and I decided a couple months ago that he was going to leave his job and come work alongside me on the YouTube channel. Honestly, we make so much more money doing YouTube than he made at his job, or that me and him both working would ever make. So this totally makes sense for us financially to do that, and we love being together as a family, so it just is a win-win. But we have split up the responsibilities. I am more of like the face of the YouTube channel, and then I'm also the creative side of it, and then he handles all of the logistics. So he handles all of the emails with companies, and then he also edits a lot of the videos. So that is our one business. And then our other business is Young Living. And if you don't know what Young Living is essential oils, and they also have a whole bunch of other non-toxic products. So that is our other business. That is more of like my thing. He just doesn't really have a place in that right now. As I grow in that business, then he will come alongside me. And honestly, eventually we would like to make Young Living our main source of income. I don't think I'll ever stop doing YouTube, but we would like Young Living to be our main source, just because the possibilities are incredible. And the opportunities are incredible with Young Living. And I have loved getting into this and seeing the community that I have. So I am not just doing this on my own. I have these girls that are doing the business with me. We're a team, and the community is just really awesome. So I love Young Living. I don't know if you guys know that, but I do. I love the products, definitely. I love the business opportunities, and then I just love the community that I have with the girls. So those are our two businesses that I keep referring to. If you guys ever hear me say that, that's what I'm talking about. The second question is, are you buying or renting in Virginia? If you guys missed the video that I posted a couple days ago, we have decided to move back to Virginia. We have been in Charleston for a year, but it just makes sense for us as a family to go back to Virginia, so that we are doing that in January. But we are going to be renting for hopefully the last year. We would love to buy a house, and we will do that soon, but we want to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row, and we want to make sure that we find the right house, that we're not just like buying any old house. We want to be in Virginia, house hunt for a couple months before we decide on anything. So we are renting a townhouse this time, and we're gonna have a ton more space. We have 3 bedrooms, a finished basement that we're gonna turn into kind of like a second living room / playroom. I'll give you guys the whole house tour when we get there, but we're gonna have a whole lot of room, and I'm really excited about it. So if we have to rent for another year or so, that's fine. But yeah. All right, the third question is, how many kids do you want? I probably would have said 2 after I just had Emerson. She is high maintenance and has a lot of energy and requires a lot of attention, and she's been pretty hard, I'll be honest. And then we had Oakley, and I saw that it honestly wasn't that difficult adding another one to the mix, and he's been an incredibly easy baby. He sleeps a lot. He barely ever cries. He has had his reflux issue, but since we've put him on Zantac, he's a whole different baby. So I don't know right now, But after having Oakley gives me baby fever. And I know I want more. For sure I want more. We're probably gonna wait a couple years before we have another kid, just to kind of like enjoy the 2 we have, and then maybe add 2 more, 3 more, 2 more, probably 2 more kids in a couple years. But right now we're giving ourselves a break. But I definitely want more babies. That is a for sure. The 4th question is, how did you and Andrew meet? So we both went to school in Virginia, to college, but we did not meet at college. We actually had some of the same classes together and didn't even know it. And we had a bunch of mutual friends, didn't know it. But we actually met on Tinder, believe it or not. So there is success to be had on Tinder. We were not on Tinder for like the hookups, because I know that Tinder has that reputation. Honestly, we had both been through some pretty traumatic life experiences. And so we were just like on there to meet people and just meet people. Yeah, all of that to say, Andrew and I met on Tinder. The next question actually is, will you talk about your marriage and how it has changed over the years? This is going to be a whole different video because there's just so much to talk about. We have been through a lot in the 3 years that we have been married, and I would love to just like go into detail and share all of that with you guys, but that is going to have to be a whole separate video. So in that video I will talk all about the details of how we met and how we started dating, and then I'll talk about how long we dated before we were engaged. Let's just say it wasn't very long. I will also talk about how we decided that we were ready to have kids. I'll also talk about how I knew that Andrew was the one for me, but that'll all be in a separate video. All right, I get this question asked all of the time, so it's finally time for me to sit down and talk to you guys about it. The question is, what are some tips that you have for starting a YouTube channel? First of all, you have to make sure that you want to do this, because having a YouTube channel is no joke. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, especially starting out, because you make all this content, you put your heart into it, a lot of time goes into it, and then you don't get a whole lot of views at first. So you kind of have to just be willing to put the work in and not get a whole lot of the benefits yet, or see the fruits of your labor. But if you stick with it, you can, I won't say that you will, you can grow your channel and be successful. But as far as tips go, so this is how I got started. I started my YouTube channel 4 months after I had Emmy. And I didn't even know that like moms on YouTube was a thing, but I had Googled or searched on YouTube like live births before I had Emmy, because I was just curious. I had no idea what I was about to go through. So I Googled that or searched it on YouTube and watched the video. And while I started following some of those people, I'll give shout outs. The first is Elle Lindquist. She was the one that I watched. And then I watched Micah Stauffer. Or the Stauffer Life, I think. And I just had those YouTube videos going on repeat in the background while I was being a stay-at-home mom to Emmy. Andrew was at work, I was lonely. And so I was like falling in love with these families and watching these ladies, and I was like, I want to do that. So I started my YouTube channel 4 months after I had Emmy, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was not good at computers, not good at camera, anything. But I just did it. I started with what I had. Didn't have a whole lot of money for equipment, didn't have equipment, but I started with what I had, and then I searched YouTube for how-tos on everything. So how to, do the settings on my camera, how to create a thumbnail, pretty much anything you need to learn, you can learn it on YouTube. So that is my number one tip, is learn what you can from YouTube itself. It's free, can't go wrong. My second tip is find your niche. So if you don't know who you are, don't know what you want your channel to be, you're not going to be successful. You have to find out what it is that you want to do and then stick with that. My uncle once told me, if you want to be successful, become an expert at one thing. So find your niche, For me, it was cleaning videos. That is what exploded my channel, and still to this day is my number one. So find your niche, find your thing, and go with that. And then also, you just have to be consistent. You have to post all the time. I have not been the best at doing this. Life happens, life comes at you, but I have noticed that the more consistent you are with your posting, like have a schedule, then the more your channel will grow. And that just makes sense. All right, the next question is, what is something you have done that people would judge you for? There's probably a lot of things that I've done that people could judge me for. But the one thing that comes to mind is actually a pretty serious thing. And I do plan on going into detail on this one thing in the future. I just don't know that I'm ready for it yet. But I know in my heart that I want to share it, because I know that it can help people, and it's just part of like who I am. And so it's something that I do want to share. I'm not ready to share it yet, but I will let you guys know when I am. And I'm hoping that it like is easier to share sooner rather than later, because I just kind of want it out there. Yikes. But that's hard. Putting yourself out there and knowing that people are going to judge you. As I've done YouTube, I've kind of just learned that people are going to judge you no matter what. Like, you can do everything right and someone's still going to find fault with what you're doing. So I have become so much more comfortable with who I am and confident in my own skin. But it's still scary, especially when the thing that I'm going to share is so deep. At least it is to me. So that's just why I want to kind of be careful for myself. This actually rolls us right into the next question perfectly. What is the best and the worst part about being on YouTube? So the best, hands down, is the fact that I get to be home with my family, because it started as a hobby, but now it is very much an income for our family, and it blesses us so much in that. And we all get to be home together. Andrew doesn't have to go to work every day. He gets to stay home and work from home with his kids, raising his kids with me, and we set our own schedule. It's so awesome. So that is the best part of being on YouTube. Another awesome thing about being on YouTube is the community that we have. Like, I have made so many friends because of YouTube. I have all of these friends that I've made on the internet because there's such good community, and because moms need that. Moms need community, and it's so nice that like people from all over the state and all over the country and all over the world can like come together on YouTube. I think that's awesome. But the worst part about YouTube, the comments honestly don't bother me that much. When you are doing something good for your family or just for the world in general, and that's what I hope to be doing with my YouTube channel. I want my YouTube channel to be used for good. People don't like to see you succeed because it causes them to self-reflect, and a lot of times they don't like what they see because they don't see themselves maybe as doing all that good. And so those people then, to make themselves look better, try and make you look bad. And so with that mindset, the comments don't really bother me. I mean, at first, yeah, they kind of sting. I will say a bad thing about being on YouTube is the amount of time that I spend on my phone, just scrolling through the comments and replying to people and responding to messages on Instagram, because Instagram and YouTube kind of like go together. So I do spend a lot of time on my phone, and I kind of hate that. I wish that I could spend less time on my phone, but it just comes with the territory. It's part of my job. If I look at it that way, then it's not that bad. But honestly, the worst part about being on YouTube has been the fear of safety and security for me and my family, because we do put ourselves out there, and I try to keep as much of the important stuff private as I can, but there's some freaky people out in the world. And so the worst part has been the threatening comments and messages. If I get a threatening comment, I obviously delete it. But I've had, you know, people say that they wished my babies would die, and that's just not okay. And then recently somebody threaten my life on Instagram, and that's just not okay. And when I opened that message and read it, I was like, okay, I am getting off of YouTube, I'm getting off of social media, because there are just freaky people in this world. So every day I get out of bed and I say, God protect my family, because I feel like I'm supposed to be on YouTube and I'm supposed to be doing this to, like I said, do good, but is it worth it if my family's not safe? Like, I don't know. So that got deeper than I meant it to, but that has been the worst thing about being on YouTube. This is a much lighter question. Would you ever get a pet? Absolutely. I am a huge animal lover. Like, it's dangerous how much of an animal lover I am, because once Emmy gets to the age where she like starts wanting animals, I'm not going to be able to say no. We are going to wait to get a dog. That's probably the first thing we're going to get. We're going to wait on that until we have a house with a yard. We have done the whole having a pet in the apartment situation, and that is not ideal, especially having 2 young kids. Not going to do that. So we're going to wait till we have a yard for the dog to run in, and I can just open the back door and let him out. I don't have to take him out on a leash and stuff like that. So I don't know what type of dog I want though. I kind of want a golden doodle, because they're just so stinking cute, and I've heard they're really good with kids. So maybe we'll get one of those. But then I also want to have enough land to have chickens. I used to competitively show horses, and so I would love to have a horse of my own one day, or a couple horses, so that Emmy could grow up with that. I want like a cat to run around outside. I am not a believer of cats living in the house, so it will never live in my house, but I would love to have an outdoor cat. And I don't know, as many animals as I can have. I want to have a mini farm, because that is something that I always wanted growing up, and we lived in Southern California and we did not have land. We just couldn't. I did have a dog growing up, I had a cat growing up, but that was the extent of it. And like a guinea pig and a hamster. But I want farm animals for myself, and then I also want my kids to like kind of be raised around that. I think that'd be cool. Again, this ties into the next question. The next question is, why did you move from California to the East Coast, and how long did you live in California? So I grew up in Southern California, near the Orange County, LA area, and I lived there for 18 years, and then I went from California to Virginia to go to college, and I lived in Virginia up until last year, where we moved to Charleston. So I lived in California for 18 years, and the reason I moved was to go to college. The best thing about California is the Mexican food. There is nothing like it, and you cannot get it on the East Coast. It is not the same. They have Mexican restaurants, but it is not the same. All right, I have a couple more questions, and then we will wrap this up. So the next question is Young Living related. I had so many Young Living questions, but these were the 2 that I thought y'all would get the most out of. So the next question is advice on growing your Young Living business. So I did not start out wanting to do the business. I just wanted to have my essential oils. I got a starter kit that comes with 11 oils, a diffuser, a wholesale membership so I could keep buying but not have to spend as much money. That is all I wanted to do when I first started. So I got that, and I used my oils for many, many months and just fell in love with them. And so I just started sharing. I started sharing from the heart, my love for these oils, my excitement for the things that they could do for me and my family, and then just the healthier lifestyle that I was living because I was using these oils. These oils are the perfect gateway into a healthier lifestyle. So I just started sharing, and people came to me asking questions. They wanted to know what oil is good for helping to promote sleep or helping to promote healthier skin. And so I did so much research from the time I got my kit to the time that I started just like consistently sharing about it. And I was able to give all that information to people, and then people wanted to buy their own oils. The best piece of advice that I can give is to just share from the heart and to be genuine about it. Young Living is an MLM, which is multi-level marketing, and those companies have a bad reputation, and it's so unfortunate because it doesn't have to be that way, and it shouldn't be that way. I think that me and my teammates, the girls that I work with, pride ourselves on not being those annoying people that do MLMs, that cold call people, or that are just out there to get your money. Like, there's nothing worse than getting that message that says, hey friend, how are you doing? I have this thing that would be perfect for you. I don't do that. And I think that my teammates and I, what sets us apart is that we share from the heart, because we didn't start out trying to do the business. We just wanted to provide a healthier lifestyle for our families, and so we started using essential oils for those purposes. And then as we got excited about it and as we started sharing, it just was like a natural like pouring out of our love for these oils. I provide information. I like to consider myself kind of like an educator of essential oils, and so when I go live on Instagram, I am doing that to provide education about essential oils to anybody that is interested. If you are not interested, then you do not have to watch, and that does not hurt my feelings. But I think that it would be unfair if I didn't share what I know with the people who want to know. So that is my 2 cents on that. Is don't go into Young Living thinking that this is going to be a get rich quick kind of thing and you're gonna make all this money off these people. Because if you go into it with that attitude, like, people are gonna pick up on that, and that's not gonna fly. 100% that is not gonna fly. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on how to grow your Young Living business. Is just be real with people and treat people with respect. This is the very last question that I have, and it is, how do you handle being a stay-at-home mom? And this person that asked this question said that she has been a stay-at-home mom for 2 weeks and she is already ready to go back to work. Growing up, when people asked me what I wanted to do, I said I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. But once I became a stay-at-home mom, I realized how hard it was very quickly, and I also kind of realized that I needed something besides just being a stay-at-home mom. I needed something that gave me purpose besides being a stay-at-home mom, and this could be completely controversial. I hope that nobody takes this the wrong way. I love being a stay-at-home mom. I love that I get to be home with my babies, that I get to be the one to take care of them and raise them. But I also just needed kind of a sense of identity aside from that. So what I did is I poured into YouTube, and that was my thing. And I spent my spare time doing that, and it just gave me a huge sense of purpose. So that would be my advice, is if you're just kind of feeling a little unsettled being a strictly stay-at-home mom, because it is so lonely. Sometimes it can be so lonely. I just encourage you to find something that you can make your own and go for it with all you got. Because you have to make sure that you take care of yourself. If you are not taking care of yourself mentally, then that is going to pour over into your family, and you're not going to be able to take care of your babies and your house and your family. So you have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself first, so that you can then take care of other people. I'm actually adding one more question on. This is a question I forgot about. This question is, will you homeschool Emmy? I actually was homeschooled. I was homeschooled from 3rd grade all the way through high school, and I think it turned out fine. And people ask me all the time, like, where did you get your social, like, where did you find your social outlet? And I honestly had so many different ways that I made friends. I did musical theater. That was where I spent a whole lot of my time. And then I also rode horses, and I just had like groups of friends here and there. So I had plenty of friends. But when it comes to Emmy, we are just not sure. We haven't come to that conclusion yet, but we have not ruled out homeschooling. So I was homeschooled, but Andrew wasn't. So we kind of have both perspectives on it. And we are honestly just trying to decide what we want to do. Like for me, it would be nice to have Emmy be able to get out of the house, like for her sake. I think that she would thrive in a school setting, but also there are just so many benefits to being homeschooled too. So we're just gonna have to really think on that. All right, so that is all that I have to answer for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys liked it. I hope that it helped you guys get to know me a little bit better. So make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of the videos that we have coming up for the remainder of Vlogmas. I love you guys. Oh, follow us on Instagram too at allie_gooch to keep up with us there. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Again, this ties into the next question. What was the question?
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach with our friends.